Hello, church. Today in our lesson, we're going to be in John chapter 9. And this story is all about Jesus wanting to use the physical to put on display the spiritual. He's going to be talking about eyesight, being able to see in this world and equating it to being able to see past this world and into the spiritual. And this story starts out at the beginning, and they are traveling and they walk by a man who was born blind. And his followers stop and ask Jesus, why is this guy blind? Why did this happen to him? And so the premise here is I have two answers I want to give you to this question, Jesus, and I want you to pick the right answer. Is it because he sinned, or is it because his parents sinned? And this question is what's called a logical fallacy. It makes sense that it would be one of the other, because this all revolves around sin. And in Genesis, when Adam and Eve brought sin into the world, yes, they brought sickness and death with them. But don't forget, also in Genesis, after Satan has caused Adam and Eve to sin, God speaks to Satan and he says, I'm going to send somebody one day to destroy you, and you're going to strike at his heel and he is going to crush your head. You see, even from the very beginning, God is not in the business of just punishing sin. God is in the business of redeeming us from our sin. And so they present Jesus with this question with two wrong answers for him to pick from, and that's why it's called a logical fallacy. Let me give you an example of a logical fallacy. If I were to ask you, is a human being a physical being or a spiritual being? Well, the answer is, well, you don't understand the truth of all this. Human beings are both physical and spiritual. We're not one or the other. And so that's what Jesus is going to do with this question. He wants them to see past the physical and see into the spiritual. And so Jesus heals this man. He says, I came here for a different reason than what you're assuming. And so Jesus answers this question of theirs by saying, listen, it's not that this man sinned, and it's not that his parents sinned, but God has allowed this terrible thing to happen to this guy so that God can put on display his works. And what are those works? Those works are to redeem people, to heal people. And that is the focus. And the whole rest of the story is all about opening your eyes to who God really is, and that Jesus is the one sent by God to correct everyone's eyesight. Church, I hope that this has been a helpful thing for your study today. Go with God. We love you.